back to part 2 of this 2-part creative exploration of my inner work through oracle cards that I've created myself digitally. Yeah, enjoy. I have this childlike desire to play with the images of a fairy tale, like a fairy tale village. And it feeds right into my word of the year, which is play. Wouldn't it be fun to take the animals from my dream arc chart and put them into a fairy tale landscape? Well, I'm not that good of an artist in the sense of drawing and painting. I'm much better with things like collage and taking found images and putting them together in my own style. So I thought, I have this capacity on one of the apps that I pay for. It's called Bazaart, and it's an app I use very often for my digital art. Digital art, my blah, blah, blah. It's an app I use very often, and it has an AI component to it. I have never played with the AI component. Honestly, I have some very fierce reservations about using AI to generate your own art. So, I could have been in a moral dilemma, but I decided all I'm doing is playing. I am not selling this. I'm not even saying that I made these. All I'm saying is that I used an AI generator to create these images that I had to put together with the way I said something, right? So, for instance, this first card is my life's work, and the animal is a bear, and its inner strength, and its city is majesty. So what I said to my AI generator was a bear dressed like a queen walking in a fairy tale village. And this is one of the images that I got. It's my favorite one. And I designated that I wanted it to be done in a watercolor style. You can have it done in a number of styles, depending on what program you're using, right? So I said a watercolor style. And so I then continued. I was so happy with the results. I then continued along my whole chart. And for instance, let's see, the skunk, because Gene Key 20 is all about presence and moving past superficiality into self-assurance, it just reminds me of Zen Buddhism. This being in the now is such a big Buddhist thing, right? So I said, and the animal's a skunk, so I said, a skunk dressed like a Buddhist monk near a fairy tale dwelling or fairy tale cottage. And this is the I got 4 images, and this is the one I chose. I love this. So, all right, so let's keep moving in the chart. So then both my culture key and my radiance are the same, and it's Gene Key 40, and it's a cat. And, the Gene Key 40 is all about doing those things that feed your energy and saying no to those things that don't, or else you become exhausted, which is the shadow state. And so you need to learn to say no. What better creature than a cat who says no to certain things and yes to certain things, right? And for some reason, I just had this image in my mind of a cat writing her memoirs, because 40 needs some time alone, but also likes to be busy. All right. So a cat writing her memoirs with pen and ink, no less, not on a computer, because remember, we've got this fairy tale thing going. So, and I got these gray cats, and I thought, I need more oomph to this one, because relaxed resolve has actually quite a lot of power to it. So I asked for a ginger cat. writing her memoirs with pen and ink, and I got this, and I just freaking love it. So I have that twice in my chart. Now I am thinking of maybe doing a second one for the culture gene key, which it might be a fun addition. Right now I'm just playing with this. All right, so let's go down to my next one. I got 37, which is the dog, and it's cheerful equanimity. And the dog is all about family. Here you have this loner cat, but then you have this dog who's all about family. Well, I didn't want a bunch of dogs in the picture, but what better place to put a dog that wants to give to its family than in a kitchen? So I said a dog with an apron in a country kitchen, and this is what I got. So yeah, loving this. So the next one was my 45, which is a bison, American buffalo. And I even have trouble understanding this animal in this key. So you can imagine that the AI had trouble interpreting anything I said as anything, because I understand the key. I understand the synergistic gift of Gene Key 45. So I understand dominance. I understand synergy, and then the city is communion. I understand synergy, and that is the beauty of each individual person having such unique capabilities, but all needed by the whole in their gifts, right? So, but how do you get bison into that? So I have done the bison over and over and over again, trying to generate AI. For some reason, I wanted books around this bison, because the bison is ancestral synergy, and what is the ancestry? But it's our personal DNA history, right? So, and books sort of represent that historical component, right? So, and I needed to have multiple ones. It's a herd animal. It's an animal that is a whole in its many parts. And so this is the best one I've come up with so far, and I do love that the woods are behind it. I did say something to the effect of a fairy tale library or something, and I'm still holding this one in reserve to keep playing with what I say to the AI generator. And the next one I adore. It's my IQ, and it's the wily equilibrium of the raccoon, Gene Key 50. And I did say something to the effect of a juggling raccoon in a fairy tale courtyard or village or something. And I love the moon above. I actually had two really good ones for this one, and I chose the one with the moon. Juggling raccoon, equilibrium, right? How do you get to equilibrium? Then the next one is the squirrels as Gene Key 36, and it's faith in humanity. And the squirrel is all about, just like nuthatch, it's citic, or it's vision key. It understands the nature of humans, because the squirrel is a tree animal, so it can be on the ground finding food, and it can go up to the treetops, up to the highest levels to find food and to explore. And just like a nuthatch goes up and down on this tree, it's this combining of the spiritual with the mundane. That is a human. That is humanity. So here I've also had trouble trying to express this one in the best way, and I'm not sure I yet have it, but I decided to stick the squirrels, and it had to be multiple squirrels. I had to stick the squirrels in an apothecary, because, they're bringing the medicine that humanity needs. This understanding that it's okay to be fully human. It's okay to be turbulent. It's okay. Have you ever heard a squirrel scream at you? It's okay to yell. It's okay to be a human, you know? Anyway, so there's the squirrels. Then the lynx was so easy, and I came up with 3 beautiful ones. The lynx is my SQ, that little childlike one. And it's 62, and 62 is all about the shadow is intellect, and it's all about words, and it goes into vibratory precision. Well, I just put into the generator a lynx reading a dictionary near a temple. It's so perfect. It has this precise look to it, right? And it has this thoughtful gaze, because the lynx is also a very solitary animal, you know. So yeah, I love the lynx. I love them all, but that's because I love my keys. The next one was the deer, and the deer is 22, graciousness, and I just did a whole video about this graciousness, actually about its shadow, and I put a doe in a cottage garden. I wanted a crown on her, but every time I asked for a crown on the doe, all it gave me was antlers, which is a beautiful crown, but it turns you on first glance, it turns it into a stag, which is a whole other gene key. So I just left the doe by herself in this beautiful garden. And, you know, what's better than graciousness, you know, for that? I thought about making the doe a little accountant, because the dilemma is accountability, but I think I'll save that for the fear keys, if I end up doing the fear keys. So the next one would be the cat again, and I haven't done a second cat. And so the next one in the pearl sequence, you have the vocation, the culture, the cat, the brand, which is my queen bear, and then the pearl. And the pearl for me is a hedgehog. And the hedgehog is gene key 6, which is conflict, diplomacy, and peace. And what would be better than a hedgehog dressed as a knight in front of a fairy tale castle? And if you know, this is just so perfect. If you notice, this knight who has the ability to handle conflict with his little sword or his hedgehoggy, you know, pokey things, his sword is down. It's not up. It's not challenging. He's on the outside of the moat. He's on the outside of the castle. He has a welcoming face. He has this peaceful, diplomatic essence to him, and I just adored the way this one came out too. So this is my deck that I'm creating right now. I have only done the shadow, gift, and city on the written cards. These you've just seen the images, but on the written cards I've only done that at this point. I may choose to do the whole set of cards, which would mean I do all the fear cards and all the bird cards. However, I believe that my own AI program, the AI generator that I'm using, is a lot limited in being able to come up with the kinds of images I want. I've started a few images in the fear keys, like a piranha who's an accountant, because the piranha is for gene key 22, and its dilemma is accountant being accountable. But I'm not sure I love the way it's coming out. They're a little creepy, but then they are fear keys. I also started doing the fly, which is my gene key 20, and again, a little creepy. The lizard came out okay. Fear of ease came out pretty well. That creepy fly, creepy piranha, gonna just have to see. I'm just gonna have to experiment, and maybe I'll only have the set of mammals for these, and that's fine, you know, and we'll just see. That's the whole fun of this, is playing. And I have such a good printer now. I'm just going to print them out on my own photo paper and not worry about trying to send them to a printer. I'm not going to have that many anyway. So yeah, that's the next thing, is deciding whether I want to do the whole panoply of animals and then just printing out what I do decide to do. So yeah, thanks for coming along and seeing how I personally have used the visual arts and digital art to create images that help me to further investigate my own inner life. And it's moved from playful inner child work all the way to now my gene keys. Yeah. Thanks for coming along, and you have a really good day. Bye-bye.